This is me at midnight on Thursday. I have a 3,000 word essay due in 72 hours, 2 friends moving to Australia, a night out on Saturday, and I have just wasted the last 11 hours of my life. I was supposed to be running an experiment. Could 2 pints in the sun actually ruin my productivity? Because we've all felt that Friday night guilt for having 1 drink, like we've ruined a whole week by daring to enjoy it. So I wanted to know if the guilt was warranted. I tracked everything: my sleep, my stress, my heart rate, my screen time, even every single word I wrote for 2 days. 1 sober, 1 not. And the data told me something I genuinely wasn't expecting.
9,000? What?
What I also didn't account for was that alcohol was not the biggest problem on my plate. I have a 3,000 word essay and a 2,000 word essay due on Monday, and I submitted 10,000 words for my secret project a couple of days ago. So I'm feeling like a victim of Microsoft Word. Now, what do you think could be the worst thing that I could do right now, whilst I'm already feeling severely burnt out? Yes, conduct my own experiment on the effects of alcohol on productivity. That sounds like a really, really, really dreadful idea. But you know what? I have this extremely sadistic habit of wanting to fill my plate way more than I should. For the next 2 days, I will be tracking my productivity, mainly by tracking my time on Forest to measure my focus, whether I hit my screen time limits on social media because I am procrastinating, and finally, how many words I write, because the main aim of these 2 days is to get my essays done. And because I'm doing it all in the name of science, I will also be tracking my metrics on my Whoop, so my stress levels and my sleep. So last night I did not have anything to drink. Tonight I'm going to partake in a moderate amount of alcohol, probably 2 beers. I think I'll have 2 beers. And then tomorrow I'm going to set out and try and do as much productive things as I can after 2 beers. Now, 2 beers does not sound like an obscene amount of alcohol. However, that is precisely what I'm interested in. What impact will those 2 beers in the London sunshine have on my productivity? We shall see. Day 1, no alcohol. Should be an easy day. However, I have 2 lectures, a dissertation meeting, a 5,000 word target, and 12 minutes to make a coffee before someone sees me on Zoom looking like this. But first things first, let me talk you through my calendar for today, because it's kind of a busy day. It is currently 9:15. Oh, I'm so glad I looked. In 15 minutes, I have a lecture. It's my first lecture of a new module on depression and anxiety. If you do want me to do a video where I talk through like everything, my thoughts and feelings about my Women's Health Masters, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings. I can save that for another time, but I have that 9:30 till 11, and then 11:30 till 1. I've got another lecture on the genetics of depression. So that's kind of a big chunk of my day taken up. At 3:45 to 4:30, I also have a meeting for my dissertation. So a lot of meetings today. This is like one of my, I hate my day being broken up into little chunks. Like I love to just get into a nice little flow state on my laptop. Ba, 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 ba. Not happening today. So trying to maximise my time in between these meetings is going to be a little bit tricky. I can't believe I've got a lecture in like 15 minutes. Like nearly 10 minutes now. And I don't have this Teams link. No, I do. This is Zoom. Okay, let's see if I can make myself a coffee in 10 minutes so that I can enjoy it in my lecture. You're just going to have to pretend that my hair does not look the way that it looks. I'm really, really, really sorry. Today was going to be a hair wash day because I thought my lecture was starting at 10. If you have been here a while, you will know that I love to put turmeric in my coffee every morning. This is from Holland & Barrett. It's got coconut milk powder in it. It's got some sugar in it, turmeric, ginger, calcium, cinnamon, cardamom, and black pepper powder. You absolutely could just put it together yourself. However, for convenience, this has been really, really, really helpful. And I believe it does actually have some added bacteria which is like good bacteria. Oh, shit. This is what happens when you're rushed, guys. Mistakes happen. I really do not have time for my coffee machine to be cleaning right now. So you may be thinking, Faye, today is Wednesday, why are you so stressed about an essay that is due on Monday? I promise I will explain after this lecture because it's very, very, very exciting. But first, I cannot decide whether I'm going to be a camera on or camera off girl. Like, I know if you teach at universities, I know that post-COVID camera off life must just be really, really, really shit. I've done talks to people where all their cameras are off and it was just, yeah, it was not nice. However, there does have to be some acknowledgement of like camera on. It does mean like, this is my personal space. And as soon as I said that, I just realised how ironic it is that I'm not comfortable with my personal space being shown on a Teams call, but I am filming it to post on the internet. Okay, 5 minutes, we're doing okay. Part of me would really, really, really love to do my LED red light mask. Ideally, I would love to be cameras off. Right, I'm gonna watch the pre-lecture material that I should have watched already, quickly.
Which, in effect, will knock on people's doors in Britain and interview them with a standardised assessment. Which is that there is no obvious boundary between normality. It seems to be a much more accurate way of thinking about the...
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Time for lecture number 2. Also LED red light. Helmet time. Genetics of depression. This one is very interesting. Right, it is 1 and I desperately need to wash my hair because the next meeting I absolutely will have to have my camera on. I will explain why I have to get these essays done in the next 3 days when I have my lunch, but a debrief on the day so far. I have hardly gone on any social media this morning, which I have to say, since doing my masters, having a lot more autonomy over my time than when I was working full-time in the NHS, I have really, really, really struggled with my screen time, specifically the time I've spent doom scrolling on social media, and I have noticed an impact on my mental well-being. So a key goal for Q2 for me is getting the fuck off my phone. Excuse my language, but it's actually, it's become a really, really, really bad issue. My fiance has recently downloaded an app that he really likes where basically, instead of just the Apple screen time limits, it limits your social media based on what time of the day it is. So his is limited for the morning and he can't go on it at all during working hours, which I think would really help me because the amount of days where I literally look on Instagram before I brush my teeth is embarrassing. And it doesn't set my day up it doesn't set my day up properly at all. However, today has been pretty good. Now I do need to stop yapping, wash my hair, eat something, and then I will explain why these essays need to be done. The way I just always feel awful about myself and then I wash my hair and I feel 10 times better. I am gonna make myself a little cup of tea. I have an hour until my next meeting and I would very much like to get about 500 words of my essay done. Maybe a little bit unrealistic, but I am nothing if not a girly who has unrealistic goals. But first, I'm going to explain why it is imperative that I get these 2 essays done within the next 2 days. On Saturday, I'm going to see Miss Olivia Dean. Now, that is extremely exciting. I am not about to complain about having tickets to see Miss Olivia Dean. However, going up to Manchester to see Miss Olivia Dean 2 days before I have 5,000 words due is a little bit risky. But to make things even riskier, 2 of my favourite people in the whole entire world are moving to Australia. Now, one of them is moving to Australia next week. Next week. Awful timing, because the last time that we can all be together as a trio is on Sunday. So they're coming for a sleepover at my house on Sunday. Now, that is absolutely fine as long as my essays are complete by the end of this week and I can just enjoy my weekend. The issue is I have a tendency to leave things to the last minute. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that my last essay that was due, I submitted it 55 seconds before the deadline, after staying up until 2 in the morning to finish it. So a gig in Manchester, the last sleepover with 2 of my favourite people on the planet, and 5,000 words standing between me and any of it. This only works if I write 2,500 words today and 2,500 words tomorrow. However, you will have to wait and see whether my grand plan pays off. The main reason I wanted to try this experiment is that we all think we have to drink excessively for it to impact our health, but that is not the case. New Whoop research has showed that even moderate alcohol consumption can disrupt sleep, result in a higher resting heart rate and lower next day activity. At the end of the video, you'll see exactly what impact 2 pints had on my productivity and sleep. Now, I can't say I will be quitting my drinks in the sun, but Whoop gives you the awareness to know what it actually does to your body, which is what it's all about. It's fair to say I am shitting myself about the next week, but I will not give up enjoying my life in pursuit of academic validation. However, I also need to recognise the stress that I will be putting myself under if I do not complete these essays in the next 2 days. Because I will start telling myself, oh, Faye, you can just do it on the train up, you can just do it on the train down. No. The Wi-Fi on British train services is not reliable and absolutely should not be seen as an option. These essays need to be completed in the next 2 days. With that being said, I have about an hour and 20 minutes until my next meeting. So with my cup of tea in hand, guys, I got this from the souks in Marrakesh and it's already chipping. Let's put our money where our mouth is and write this bloody essay. Unfortunately, I was about to do something extremely stupid that cost me my entire day. You know what? Let's do it for 80 minutes. Let's go. Right, team. Oh, it is almost 6 p.m. before I have my experimental pints. Let's see how we did on the words front. 1,018 words here. And I also did 1,800 words here. You are fully allowed to tell me off when I tell you what that 1,800 words was for. I got distracted and decided I wanted to write a Substack. This is exactly the kind of decision that comes back to haunt me later in the video. And if that does not epitomise everything that is wrong with my time management, then I don't know what does. Anyway, total of about 2,800 words, about 3 hours of lectures and a 1 hour meeting. I don't think that's all that bad for a Wednesday. And a total of 6 hours and 46 minutes on Forest. Now, only time will tell how I fare tomorrow. That looks so tasty! How? What's the greens?
Parsley.
Ooh,
Little spinach in there as well.
nice. Yeah. So I'm going to be semi-productive when I have my beer because we've got to send the wedding planner the full names of our guests, which is a little bit of a rough task, to be honest with you. That's going to take some time. So, pairing it with a pint for the experiment and for bonus productivity. Now, where are my sunglasses? Because it is glorious. Let's go. This was exactly the moment the experiment was supposed to actually start. It's also the moment everything started to unravel, but not for the reason I thought. While I was getting into bed here feeling fine, my Whoop was already picking up what those 2 pints were doing to my body. I will show you exactly what it caught at the end. Okay. Good night, team. It is 22:29 and let's see what the science says in the morning. Right, I have a meeting in 1 minute, and it is for my dissertation. Let's get on this call. Morning. This is where the experiment was meant to test my focus. Instead, it tested whether I could be trusted to manage my time like a mature grown-up. Spoiler, I could not. It is 10:24, which can only mean one thing and one thing only. It is time for some coffee. Dylan, would you like a coffee? Boop. Wop, wop. Endless flowers. It's golden out all the time. The birds got playing on your chest like pebbles in your hand, initials in the sand. Your summer never ended by the moon and the stars. Tablespoon of the turmeric mix. Whisk, 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 whisk. Microwave for about 40 seconds. Hot, hot, hot. Okay. Bit more whisk. And coffee. So Dylan's got a meeting. So I am gonna sit down here and sort out these pictures of Sophia and Rafi on my phone whilst I enjoy my coffee. haven't quite worked out how to make the turmeric not bitty yet, but I will keep you updated. It is... 1 second. It is 12:30. I have basically wasted... Not wasted, this is a good use of my time. I have spent half the day going through my pictures of Sophia and Rafi. Now, I have 8,000 pictures of Rafi in my phone, which is just over 1,000 for every year that I've known him, and almost 9,000 for Sophia. So it has taken me all morning to go through and pick the pictures that I want, and I still have to put this photo book together and finish my essay. So we have no time for messing. You know what this means it's time for? Guys, it is 6:20 and I have not done a single thing on any of my essays because I've literally spent the entire afternoon writing up the autobiography of my friendship with Sophia and Rafi. And I will calculate how many words I've written because I have written a lot of words. And all I need to do is put the pictures and the words into the Canva, okay? However, for love nor money, I have not been able to find this template on Canva. So I asked my friend Sophie to message Rafi and ask Rafi to send her the template because she wanted it for her wedding. Sorry, that's a little bit convoluted. Rafi ignored her. Rafi continued to post on his Instagram stories and aired Sophie, which has put me into a little bit of a pickle because if I have to design this magazine myself, start to finish, I will be up until midnight tonight. Then, Miss Sophie. Sorry, this is extremely confusing. There is a Sophia and there is a Sophie. Sophie is my friend from home, from school. Sophia is my friend from medical school. Sophia is getting the magazine this weekend. Sophie is helping me obtain the template for the magazine. Sophie found the template for me on Canva. What an absolute lifesaver. So myself and Dylan are going to do outdoor dinner, first outdoor dinner of the year. Very exciting. Outdoor dinner in the sunshine. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to formulate this magazine tonight, if it is the last thing I do, because I need to order this tonight. Otherwise, they are probably not going to get it in time before Sophia goes to Australia. And then tomorrow, I will finish my essays. So I've kind of ruined the experiment because it is tomorrow and I haven't even finished the photo book, but would you like to see the end? This is the front cover. Los Tres Amigos. Special edition, 7 years of Rafi. And then basically it goes through like every single phase of our friendship. I'm quite proud. Like, how cute! And then this is a milkshake that we just always used to get at uni whenever we revised. But the best of the best. Oh no, this is cute actually. Loved this when we went to Marrakesh.
and I'll show you one more of my favourites before I take you to the end, which is the best bit. Okay, how cute is this? I'm quite proud. I'm not normally very good at this stuff, so this is the section for like when after we graduated. But then they get to the end and there's a little article like what's happening next. Speaking about Sophia going to Australia, this is the greatest responsibility either of them have ever been offered. So on behalf of the editor of this very special edition, okay, scroll, picture, scroll.
Please excuse me blurring the screen. There is an important question I had to ask Rafi and Sophia before they left that I cannot share just yet, but I will be sharing soon on Instagram, so keep an eye out and maybe have a guess in the comments what you think that question might be.
Okay, I really need to go to bed because actually at this rate no one is going to get their photo book and I'm not going to get my essay done either. God. Okay.
The question now is, what does the data actually say, and did I get the essay in on time? Well, team, pretend to be shocked that I look and feel horrendous, but it is time to go over the data of my experiment, which was a completely idiotic idea. I do not have time for these experiments. Starting with the Whoop data. Now, was it necessary for me to do this experiment myself when I'm having a really busy week and Whoop have already got the data? Probably not. Now, did I hydrate sufficiently yesterday? Probably not. Did I consume caffeine? Yeah. I think midday. Did I experience brain fog, mood swings, menstrual cramps, have any alcoholic drinks? No, not yesterday. So my recovery is 65. Right, let's see what my sleep was like the night that I drank. That's what I'm interested in. So my sleep on the night that I drank, I had high sleep stress of 21%. I got a good amount of sleep, but yeah, there was high sleep. Let's compare that to today. So today, my sleep stress was 0. So even though I got to bed pretty late, there is a really clear difference in my sleep stress. And that is basically calculated by measuring your heart rate and your heart rate variability. So clearly it did impact my sleep. Now it's time to look at my screen time. Look, what I want to be looking at mainly is not my overall screen time, but more my screen time on social media, because yesterday I did spend a lot of the morning going through the pictures that I needed for my photo book. So let's see day. So yesterday I spent 6 hours and 39 minutes on my phone, but 2 hours 47 of that was photos, 52 minutes of that was WhatsApp, 42 minutes was Dropbox, 29 minutes was notes. I was writing down everything I wanted to say to Sophia and Rafi. So it was 29 minutes on Instagram. How on earth does all of that add up to 6 hours? But this is an important one. So yesterday I did 65 pickups. And my first pickup was at 7:36, okay? So I noticed that was early. Like that is pretty soon after waking up and I'm on my phone. Like not ideal, not how I want to start my day. And Instagram I picked up 6 times. Okay. Next, let's look at Wednesday. So Wednesday, I spent less time on my phone, but I did spend more time on Instagram. However, I believe that time on Instagram was later in the day. So my first pickup was 8:51. I picked up Instagram 3 times, but if you look at the graph, it was all past 6 o'clock, which I'm actually so much more okay with, because if it's after 6 o'clock, it's like relaxing time, you know? Whereas yesterday, I front loaded my Instagram use, and then I was working until midnight because I hadn't done what I needed to get done. So, you know, it's only 2 days comparison. I think the last thing to look at, which may take a little bit of calculation, so I'm going to need you to bear with me, is how many words I wrote, okay? I'm going to read you out all the different sections of Sophia and Rafi's book, and then I'm going to have to calculate how many words are in each. Okay. Final word count from yesterday. I was working a lot longer as well.
9,000? What?
9,385 words I wrote yesterday. I think that just goes to show writing is actually really, really, really easy when the subject matter is your life. No, the subject matter is so enjoyable. Like, I was basically just writing my life story over the last 7 years with these 2 people, which was really, really, really enjoyable. Obviously, it was not as academically challenging, and there were points where my brain did feel a little bit confuzzled. So this was only 2 days. 2 days where I did not drink and 2 days where I did drink. Is that necessarily the most robust scientific test? No. Should you just go and have a look at the Whoop study that they've done on alcohol? Yeah, you could do, absolutely. Save yourself the energy of conducting your own quasi-scientific experiment and just listen to the experts. And if you're wondering whether I got my essays in, I am very pleased to say that I did. Whether I got a decent mark is another question, which I will save for a future video. So make sure you're subscribed if you do not want to miss.